Have you ever felt like your nervous system was just going and going and going? In some cases, a person may try to sit down and relax and yet still feel amped. Or I've seen in other cases where people are just continuing to go, 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 and they feel like they just cannot settle down. They cannot stop. And so often the issue is different than people realize. And so it stays stuck. And what ultimately ends up happening is I see people who are kind of fighting that feeling or just draining themselves, keep going and keep going, or, of course, doing things like yoga and Tai Chi or energy work or, meditation or all of those things, trying to just get their nervous system to calm down. But there's typically a deeper reason that keeps this going. And so I'll see people all the time who are kind of fighting themselves in that place, just trying to get it to slow down. And that was actually the very issue with the volunteer that I worked with on today's episode. I worked with a beautiful volunteer. Her name is Sophie. And one of the things that was going on for her was that she felt like she would feel suffocated in relationships if she stopped. Now, there were other things too. And I want to expand on this because so often what can happen is people feel a mix of different emotions in a subconscious level. Like I've worked with people, for example, who felt like if they sat down, they were lazy. And so what happened is they felt like they always had to keep going. And that subconscious programming with that judgment, maybe it was their mom or their dad or somebody growing up where they felt those feelings. And so for them to just sit down and relax or be able to just calm their nervous system was nearly impossible because it felt like it was wrong to do so. Or I've seen people, even in this case with our beautiful volunteer, what can happen is, it can be a counterintuitive feeling because there's a feeling of her wanting to connect even more and deeper with her husband, and yet also this feeling of feeling suffocated. Or what can happen is I'll see where somebody has a spouse that's working. So their spouse is working and they feel like they need to be working or they need to do something or they're not doing enough or they're not making enough or they're not good enough or they don't have a good enough purpose. And at a deeper level, in their subconscious mind, they're feeling this feeling. They're not important enough or good enough or something. And so the nervous system basically says, like, you can't stop. You can't settle down. You can't. If you do, you're lazy or not good enough or guilt or whatever it is. And so it keeps going. And it keeps going. And so a person finds themselves over and over and over, just always constantly on the go, 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 go. And I have seen this show up in so many ways. Or here can be another example where maybe I've seen people where they've had some type of trauma happen or some type of negative thing. And they feel like if they stop, something bad will happen. And so they can't get themselves to stop. It's just like this feeling of I have to keep going because they don't feel like it's safe to stop, to slow down, to just breathe for a moment. And that's the insight that I want to share because so often I've seen people who they can't sleep. They're in just go, 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 go mode. And then they're experiencing all kinds of health issues and feeling stuck. And that's exactly what was happening with our beautiful volunteer. It's just, I absolutely love our volunteer. She's this beautiful being who self-aware, extremely self-aware, has been, taught yoga for a while, taught all kinds of things, just into energy work and meditation and positive thinking, just doing all of the things for years and years and years. And yet there's this feeling where she cannot get her nervous system to slow down, to just be more regulated. Now, part of the thing that was going on with her also was this feeling that she had to have a big enough purpose. Like her purpose had to be huge. And then so there's this deep feeling, just also feeling not good enough and not doing enough and not this and not that. And so as you can imagine, her nervous system didn't want to allow her to slow down, to settle down. She had to have this and that and that. And that's my point, is so often that deeper subconscious programming can drive you or even feel like it's driving you crazy because it just won't stop. And then people are fighting it and fighting it. And so the insight that I want to share is this, is ultimately, if you really check in and understand why it's occurring, and then don't just push or force yourself, reprogram yourself. So for example, even in another case where I worked with another beautiful volunteer, part of what happened is she felt like that, she felt like she was lazy. She was called lazy a lot growing up, and lazy and lazy. So what ended up happening in her case is that ultimately she felt like she couldn't sit down. Like if she was going to sit down, she was lazy, she felt critical of herself and all these things. So by the way, on a very subconscious note, what happened is the only time this other person, would allow herself to sit down is if she was sick, is if she didn't feel well. And of course, that was at a subconscious level because all she wanted to do was heal. And so what can happen, and even in the case with today's beautiful volunteer, Sophie, what can happen is that if the nervous system just keeps going and going and going and doesn't have any relief or doesn't have any ability to stop because it feels like it has to just go, 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 then the body can, at a subconscious level, want to at least have some type of health issue, if you will, to allow the person to sit down where they say, you know what, I'm not feeling well. I now get to rest. I now get to relax. I now get to something or other, even though a person does not consciously want that. So I know it's very counterintuitive, but what you'll want to keep in mind with the subconscious mind is that it's opposite a lot of times of what a person really wants. Even if you think about people who are trying for success and they're really wanting to be successful in life, and then they end up sabotaging it, or people who want a relationship and then they end up sabotaging it. So often what somebody's wanting consciously, it can be really counterintuitive at a subconscious level. And so that's the insight that I want to share because, all of the time you hear people trying to calm their nervous system. And what they don't realize, and I'll see people time and time and time again who say that exact thing. Their nervous system won't stop, and it's just it just feels like they're always just on like high and can't stop. And at a deeper level, there's always a reason. And so ultimately what you'd want to do to get it to stop, and this is what I do when I work with people, is identify what is the specific reason, or multiple reasons many times. And I help them identify those and then shift those. And so that's what you'd want to do in your life, is really identify why your mind and body don't feel like it's safe or don't feel like it's okay to just calm down for a moment, to relax and really enjoy. So that's the insight that I want to share with you today, is exactly that. And by the way, if you'd like to listen to this full episode, this session where I work with our beautiful volunteer, Sophie, there are a lot of really, really amazing insights. She's incredible. She has great self-awareness. And so if you want to listen to that session, the link is in the show notes. And by the way, also, if you're somebody who is working on healing yourself, there's also a free training in the show notes as well. So if you'd like to get a deeper understanding of mind-body healing and how it works, that is available as well. And also, as always, if you know somebody who could use this information, who could really understand their nervous system, and maybe they've been struggling with the very same thing, make sure to hit the share button on this episode. Share it with somebody you love, somebody you care about, or somebody you don't even know, because the more that every single person in our world feels healthy and happy and loved and loving, truly, the better this world is for all of us. And so please do make a point to hit the share button, and please do make a point to have an incredible rest of your day. I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. We'll see you there.